Yeah, hi there. These comments are for DB, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. I'm looking at your message right now, and I think I can get you going in the right direction here. So you went to one of my web pages. It's called Subscribe to my free TOEFL Speaking 26 newsletter. And what I do there is I send out a helpful email about once a week that gives students tips on how they can get a higher speaking score, and especially trying to get that magical score of 26 on the speaking, right? That's really my purpose for the newsletter. I hope that you subscribe, by the way. I'm going to come up with a new email probably in a few days. Okay, you see, I don't know where to start, but the hardest section is the speaking one. I agree. You say, but the problem is how to organize my thoughts and how to express it all, especially in the third and fourth tasks. I'd appreciate if you could help me. All right, so you're talking about the integrated speaking task. So we have two. Task number 3, we have reading, listening, speaking, casual. It means that the reading material and the speaking conversation is easy to understand, doesn't use very formal or academic vocabulary. Now the next speaking task is really, really tough. It's called reading, listening, speaking, academic. Now the good news is you can organize your task about the same way. So let me see if I can give you a suggestion here. So the first thing, DB, is when you're doing the TOEFL speaking, you definitely want to make sure that you take down notes. My recommendation is take a sheet of paper, draw a line through the middle like that. Then secondly, you want to put on the top here, I'm going to put R and then L. Now where you see L, you want to write down what you think the main point in the conversation is, or it's usually some kind of notice at the university about some policy. So you want to state what that is here, and then state what the topic is in the listening passage. Typically, 2 students will react to the notice. Maybe one student agrees, the other one disagrees, but you want to write what that main point is in the listening passage here. Once you've done that, I'll show you your next step. Then you want to write down maybe 3 points about the reading passage and 3 points about the listening passage. If there are 3 points, maybe there's only 2, but whatever those main points are after the reading, try to get them down and then write down what the main points in the listening are. Now then, when you start your response, you have to look at it in really 3 types of sections. You have your introduction, which means you need to create a topic statement that states the main point of both the reading and the listening passage. You could say, let's say the reading passage, DB, talks about a new policy about cell phones on campus. And then in the listening passage, the 2 students discuss the new policy. So then when you begin your response, you'll say the students discuss a new policy about cell phone use on campus. First of all, the policy states, and then you state what you think the main points of the new policy are according to the reading passage. Make sure you say, well, the reading passage states, or the policy also mentions, and finally, blah, blah, blah. So then state what you think the most important points of the policy are. Once you've done that, you'll see, second of all, the 2 students react to the notice. The man in particular agrees with the notice, and then the woman disagrees with this new notice or policy. And then you discuss what the man's point of view is, what the woman's point of view is, and then you're pretty much done. So you can follow that type of organization for both speaking task 3 and speaking task 4, right? That's kind of what you're trying to do. Now let's take a look at your situation. So you're having problems organizing your thoughts and expressing it. So I gave you some tips now on how you can organize things a little bit better. You see what we're saying? So once once you're done with the notice, or once you're done reading the notice and listening to the passage, you already have this information written down, something like that, and then it's easy for you to speak about this information, right? Because you already have the notes organized. Now, it's not as easy as it sounds, though. I know that you have to work on your fluency, which means you want to make sure your pronunciation is clear. You have to make sure that you have good control of both your vocabulary and your grammar. You're not having too many problems in any of those areas, and you should be able to deliver a pretty good response. Now, my recommendation, if you're on a tight budget and you don't have enough money to go to an intensive English program and spend thousands of dollars a semester or a quarter, please consider joining my online TOEFL course. So what you can do beginning today, if you join my online TOEFL course, you can start sending me speaking responses. I'll listen to each one. Remember my rule though, your $45 a month payment allows you to send one speaking practice test each day. And every time you send me one, I will comment on your speaking in terms of your pronunciation, your language use, and also your topic development. I recommend that you keep a speaking journal, and as you do your practice tests, write down any notes, any comments I give you. If I point out a problem you're having with grammar, you should write down what that problem is, and then what lessons or how you can correct that problem. So you can get better. My general idea is, if you want to improve 1 point on the speaking, let's say you want to go from 24 to 25 or 26, so you want to go 2 points from 24 to 26, you're probably looking at about 90 hours of practice, really. It's about 45 hours of practice for every point that you want to get higher. So it takes time, right? And that's part of my job is, if you do join my course, you know that you will get feedback every time you do a speaking practice test. You can also send me a pronunciation pretest, and I'll evaluate your pronunciation and tell you where or what lessons in my online course you can focus on in order to improve in those areas as well. All right, anyway, thank you very much, and I hope I've given you some good suggestions in this video to help you improve your TOEFL speaking.